Whoa. We got to get these doggies. They're out of the pen. We got to get them back in the pen.
In the pen,
In the
sure.
pen. We got to
Makes
get them
sense.
over to the Last Podcast Network Country Jamboree, June 18th, 2022, at the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee.
Come and check out all the shows that you love on the Last Podcast Network. We'll be in front of you in our meet space, and we cannot wait to entertain you and have a great time.
But for those of you that can't come in person, go to momenthouse.com/LPOTL and buy your live stream ticket. Yes, you too can watch us perform our jangly country jamboree from the nudity of your couch.
Absolutely fantastic. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Thank you so much for your support, and we are so excited to be at the OG Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah!
Hail yourselves!
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
Side stories.
From your glade. That's when the cannibalism started.
Side
stories. Yes. Come. I'm sorry, just doing my vocal warm-ups for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Come.
Nailed it.
Come, please. Fill it up. Fill me up with your cum, please.
We're like a car waiting for gasoline.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a cum to spare?
Just one?
Just one single solitary sperm. I honestly
Out of my billions and billions?
I would love just one big one that looked like a big flopping Datsun.
That would be nice. I wonder if they're like goldfish, where if you did capture one semen, you put it into a tub, it would grow to the size of said tub. I think there's a horror movie based on that.
Oh, yeah, it's called Cum.
Welcome to Side Stories, everyone.
Great.
I am Ben,
Great. I'm
hanging
so
out with
glad.
Henry Zabrowski.
I'm so glad we started this off like
Well,
this.
that was a little insight into Henry's warm-ups that he does before every show. Because as we know, I did actually read a funny article. You know, I never was able to achieve this award, but it's summa cum laude.
Yeah.
And they blurred the word cum when they showed it to the kids because everyone is so stupid.
It's so dumb.
Summa cum laude.
It's very stupid.
I got the summa cum quiet because you're in your dorm room and you have a roommate in there.
Oh, yeah. And then sometimes it's weird. I try to like indicate an ending.
Yeah.
You know, by going, Affine.
Done.
Affine. Yeah. But sometimes you let out like a... I actually wanted to tell you, I wanted to talk to you, Kissel, at the very top about this.
You have been holding on to this story. We did our serious show yesterday. You came in so jovial and so happy, and you told me that you were going to tell me something I've never heard before.
I don't know if that's true, but I am excited because I think I do like that the movement to accept all types of bodies is out there, right? Like
alive bodies.
Alive
not corpses,
bodies.
Because technically Dahmer accepted a whole bunch of bodies, but he killed them.
He killed them and then and he manipulated them after death and to tuck their penises off, all that type of
shit. And he did a
right?
horrible job of being a doctor.
Super creative guy.
Absolutely.
But the thing is that like what I love is that in ladies' underwear advertisements, and I look at all of them just to make sure they're equal.
Absolutely.
And I look through every style of ladies' underwear advertisement just to see what's out there. What can you grab at?
Furry ones, lacy ones, ones made out of licorice. By the way,
yes,
in a pinch, it is technically food. And have I gotten stoned and eaten somebody's gag gift to me?
Sure.
Perhaps.
Oh, yeah. Those are great. Those special ones look like fruit roll-ups. Mm-hmm. But it is interesting that they celebrate all different types of female bodies. But if you look at male underwear ads, it's still the same very handsome man.
Yeah, sure, because they're models and people want to look.
It's the body cut.
Yes, because you want to look at that model and say, if I get this pair of Hanes, I'm going to look just like that man.
And you're not.
Well, you're not, but it does make you feel like you could.
Maybe you could I at least held the same underwear as that man.
Absolutely.
But
they stuff their packages, by the way.
Whoa.
They do. I've seen the footage.
We're going to get torn apart.
Have you ever seen the way they do a Big Mac and a Big Mac commercial for McDonald's?
They move the burger forward.
It's exactly what they do with the cock and balls and undie ads.
You know, in the mid-1800s, I wanted to celebrate this. Okay. There was a fat movement.
A fat movement? Well, that's kind of ironic.
It was the fat man scene.
Okay.
Is what they called it. And it basically, this was during the time period when I guess that men that did not have to go to work, basically they could afford to not work.
Wow.
They decided to spend their time working on their bodies.
In a way, in a productive way, like everyone did during the pandemic, when everyone said, now we're going to get in shape, and they bought a bunch of exercise equipment that just became a coat hanger.
Yes. Hey, but this is fun because it was, they started all these fat men groups.
Oh, that's great. It's
And
good
one
to get
was-
them together.
Oh, yeah. One was called the New England Fat Men's Club. There was the Jolly Fat Men's Club.
Oh, that's fun.
The United Association of the Heavy Men of New York State, Chris Christie.
Very intriguing. Of course, Chris Christie, one of the fattest of all time. Check out his pictures when he's in that baseball uniform. Speaking of cock and balls, those are desperate.
He could really fill it out.
Yeah, he did.
And then there was the Fat Man's Beneficial Association, and the last one, my favorite one, they were just called the Heavyweights.
Ooh, I love the heavyweights.
It's
That's
really
fantastic.
fun. But they said what they would do with, like, again, what would they get together is they'd all hang out, and they would just eat and eat.
And
eat.
breathe heavily.
And I love this one big thing, one of the mottos for the Fat Men's Association
what
in
is
New York
it?
City was, we're fat, and we're making the most of it.
Well, that is fantastic. They're definitely taking up the most seats on the subway, as they should. And I'm looking at some of the photos that Henry has here on his website. And I must say, Fat Pride, bring it back in the male form.
These guys, there are some fucking units in this group.
There really are.
A New York Times journalist, he wrote about the club's president. Mr. Dolan is huge. He is ponderous. His obesity borders on the infinite. And the most hardened, lean man cannot gaze upon his magnificent proportions without being unconsciously made purer and holier.
Well, this was a great time for fat marketing. Whatever happened to that? I'm actually going to blame Jackie Gleason. He brought a little negativity to the fat man. I'm going to send you to the moon. It seems like the jolly fat guys just wanted to sit there, eat with other fat men. Is it possible they were all having sex with each other?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
That was the Roly-Poly Institute of Baltimore.
I do love that. It is interesting. Someone with heavyweights, someone with, just straight up large or whatever that may have been.
Oh, yeah.
And then others accepted the word fat. I wonder if there was a feud within the big boy community over the term.
Yeah, I don't know. This is correspondence about the New England Fat Men's Club summer party.
Ooh, also, if I'm going to be a fat man, New England's the place to do it. Lobster and all that sweet,
I don't know.
Sweet, what do they call that? Clam chowder.
Clam chowder. The problem is that all of that shellfish will lead to gout, which is fat man's AIDS.
King's disease.
Yes, besides AIDS.
Yep.
So, according to the New England Fat Men's Club's, a reporter following the New England Fat Men's Club's summer gala, townspeople looked forward to the summer meetings. Children would gather at the railroad station as guests arrived. They enjoyed watching the oversized members walking the streets, exchanging their secret hand clasp and listening for the secret password.
What's the secret hand clasp? It's very sweaty.
It's handing a cheeseburger to the other guy. As told in the history of Newbury, one rainy day, a young man remarked to his friend, "Gee, look at that stomach. Let's get under it and keep out of the rain."
Oh, isn't that sweet? They can use the belly for shelter. The fat man has helped out people since the dawn of time. In no way is this the beginning of the end of the American male. So I am just so happy that these guys were able to get together, touch belly buttons, not be able to shake hands if they do that, and then just say, acceptance? Accepted.
And it's, yes, apparently being fat started to decline around the 20s when most of the members of these groups died.
Absolutely.
And then at least for a while, and I love the end of this article, but at least for a while, during the end of the century, it was a fat man's world.
It was a fat man's world. We were born in the wrong time zone, time frame. Timeline.
And I also want to, speaking of fat men, there's a Murdaugh family update.
And speaking of death, of course, the Murdaugh family, for those that don't know, South Carolina, he was a former lawyer. His entire family is destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
He set up his own assassination attempt, which went horribly wrong. His son probably killed somebody, and then he killed his son and his wife. And then he also embezzled millions and millions of dollars from his company.
Yes.
Anyway, that's long story short.
And in the middle of that, his housekeeper died of a sudden and horrible accident.
And I thought when we say housekeeper, I just think of somebody a little bit older. And I'm looking at a picture of this woman. She is just a young girl who, unlike the chubby men of the past, looked quite healthy.
Oh, yes.
And I don't think she would just randomly die.
He gave her a little bit of a bump, ba-boom, and she went down the stairs potentially, but they are exhuming the body. They have decided that, because finally the piles and piles and piles and piles of evidence that have shown that the Murdaugh family is up to no good has now, they're finally been like, all right, let's pop open this coffin too and see how this person died as well and see if they died from a so-called trip and fall like they said. But again, slowly but surely, that case inches forward.
Absolutely. Inches forward. And that's...
Which is also the name of my fat man's group.
Inching forward. Absolutely.
Have you seen this thing about the nightclub needle attacks that are going on in France and in Europe?
No, I haven't seen any of that.
Do you remember Travis Scott this year when he did the horrible thing happened? The Astro World tragedy.
Not a fun concert to go to.
No, but there was rumors of needle attacks happening there too, but they were it seems like they were unsubstantiated. We don't know whether or not it was real or not. It seemed to be some kind of panic moment. But there are many people across France. They're saying more than 300 people that have been reported being pricked out of the blue, wink, with needles and nightclubs, and it's often happening to women. And sometimes women come back, they have some form of adverse reaction. There's some evidence saying that it's GHB. Maybe there's some people saying that it's just straight up liquid. A lot of people are just starting to figure out, which is like the most fucked up thing, which is you've been partying all night,
right?
And you don't know why you're in pain or like what's happened to your arm. It isn't until days later where you're like, did someone hit me with a needle? That creeps me out.
Please, God, stop poking people with needles. We've heard about stories like this for a long time, whether it be butt slashers or needle pokers. Treat people with a little bit more respect than a human pincushion. 18-year-old Thomas Lach. He attended a rap concert in northern France, and you can only imagine when I think of rap, I think of northern France.
It's actually very. I didn't mean to be racist there, because it's apparently there's other music elsewhere. Did you know that?
Yeah, but rap is uniquely American.
Yeah, but they do rap too there, and it's is it about bread? Sure.
Yeah, but we also eat chocolate, but we don't do it as well as the Germans.
But when we say bread, it means money.
It can. So he smoked.
I know rap.
Thomas Lux. He smoked a little bit of marijuana and drank some alcohol at the show. But then when he came home, he said, "I'm feeling dizzy and I got a headache." And then he said he spotted a strange little skin puncture on his arm.
It's not
and
good.
Then he had a little bit of bruise. And then he says, "I've given up on going to concerts since that happened." Oh my goodness, because apparently he was tested for HIV and hepatitis, and thankfully the results came back negative.
Oy.
But this just shows you when you get pricked with something like that, you're like, what is it? What could it be?
I mean,
and then it would be very stressful. So
I'm a fucking hypochondriac. I don't know what the hell would happen. I'm such I don't like any of that shit. I would not be at peace for a good long while.
I was at Dave & Buster's recently because I went to go see AEW.
Oh, I saw that footage of you there. That was, wow, fantastic.
Fantastic footage. Our seats were just outside of the camera zone, even though we were kind of in the front row. But I don't sit on the camera side because I'm not a media whore. But I was there, and you could see my Sasquatch-like photos. And if you do look at them, they are me. I know for a fact because I looked at the angles. I did all of my cryptozoology work, and I got it done right. And so we went to Dave & Buster's later, and you might think, oh, that's so stupid. It was the only place open, okay? And
you're attacking. I don't know. I didn't say nothing. You are preemptively saying I'm going to judge your Dave & Buster's.
But I also was aware we covered 2 Dave & Buster's stories recently, so I was on the lookout for gun violence. Anyway, so I was sitting there, and this lady was like, "No, I want a shot." And I was like, "I'll take a shot." And it came in this big-ass syringe, right? Ugh. But it was a plastic syringe, and it didn't have a needle on it. And then you put it in your mouth like, blah, blah, blah. And it tasted very disgusting, as if some bizarre gummy bear was pissing in your mouth. But anyway, so I did have a recent needle experience at a club, but it was much different than the people experienced here in France.
I feel like you have a couple of those needles, and eventually you need a couple of needles that have insulin in them.
Absolutely, on account of the diabetes. So a lot of people just said they feel groggy and they don't feel good. And I'm going to say this. Number one, again, don't poke random people with any needles.
Don't.
But also, what are you giving them, downers?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's because they
want to sexually.
Yeah,
it's
sex.
Nasty.
It's for
It's not sex. That is not sex. That is a sex crime. That's correct. So 302 people have filed formal complaints, which means you have to dress up very nice, and then you go and you file a formal complaint to the police. But now my question is, if you're the police, 2 years of nights have made me a nocturnal animal. I watched them again. I watched that one scene.
You watched it again?
I watched that scene 1,000 times.
How many times have you seen
I just have it. I have it.
No, so you just watch it. You just close your eyes and it just plays on your eyelids.
I love Robert Pattinson.
City's eating itself.
City's eating itself, just like those chubby boys. And what we talked about on the Serious show yesterday, when it comes to human cannibalism, eating yourself as well does count. So 2 people tested positive for GHB.
Yeah.
Which again, so just be freaking careful. And it's just a sad world. In America, you have to wear a flat jacket everywhere you go. And now you have to be aware that someone will just have a random freaking needle and tries to stab you when you're at a French rap concert. Is nothing sacred?
Nothing is sacred, especially not the human ears. I got a letter from somebody that I wanted to, then I did a little bit of research around the phenomena, and I actually want to use this as a question to our audience to see who else has experienced this.
Okay.
Now this is about phantom hums. I'm not talking about hummers. Wing, 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 suck, 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 suck. I'm talking about hearing weird noises. Now we've talked about people. It's oftentimes associated with either UFO activity or just straight up mental illness. This idea that you people hearing phantom noises. We don't know what it is. It could be versions of tinnitus. It could be versions of. But I want to unpack it a little bit. This comes from a listener.
Okay.
This hum plagues my boyfriends and my life. It's a low droning sound that almost sounds oscillating and is interrupted when noise is made. The interesting thing is that we live off the grid in the Colorado wilderness, and we do not always have power. In fact, we hear it most often when there is no power. It needs to be almost completely silent to be able to hear it. No wind, no birds, and we only have wood heat. Damn. So the sound cannot be explained by the sound of electricity or plumbing or heating. Not only that, but we live out there. No roads nearby and no real neighbors.
Okay. Now, do they say what crimes they're running from?
No. It just sounds like, they somehow get internet.
Okay.
But I don't know if they're running from crimes. They might be just running from all of us.
They might just love to have sex with one another and be alone.
Oh, yeah. Pounding in the pine cones.
Oh, isn't that a nice documentary?
But they say that they can hear the sound both inside and outside, and they say it sounds like an oscillating engine. What they say is like a UFO hovering right on top of them, which is really fucked up. So I looked up this idea of phantom hums because I have heard about this. And one, which is a vaguely famous one, which is called the Taos hum from New Mexico.
Taos hum.
Now, these guys, again, it has been reported
for
years and years and years. But what's also weird is that it seems that only 5 to 10% within Taos have heard. Thank you. Please, before it begins, our New Mexico expert, Fernando Taos, right?
Absolutely. And listen to Fernando on Abel Against Top Hat for more corrections.
I need it. But there are a lot of people that are hearing this sound in Taos, right? It's been reported since the early 1990s. But they said, again, about
Get the gun.
That's what Ozzy did not. He said, I never would tell my listeners to commit suicide because that fucks with my sales.
Oh, I'm interested. I'm actually happy you thought that they would be more of an internal crime than an external.
Yes, it seems that only 2% of Taos residents have heard this thing where they call themselves hearers.
I believe it.
Right? But again,
because sometimes you can hear stuff. I hear stuff all the time that you don't hear because I'm way up here. You're way down there. You hear the frogs burping. I don't hear the frogs burping, but I hear the birds chirping.
Sometimes it's almost if you hear whatever it is you want to hear.
That's what I'm saying.
That's just
maybe the earth is hungry.
Maybe that's it.
Have you thought about throwing some French fries down the drain?
Ever thought about that quantum behavior? They say, the quantum weirdness is the fact that things get weird when you go down on a quantum level. Maybe it's not because we don't understand cells or physics, but maybe that is the super, super small nanomachines, hyper intelligences, and their decisions running our lives. And it's just an offshoot. We're just the root of subatomic behavior, which is actually not even just unintelligent behavior. It's actually intelligent micro machines.
Did you hear Taco Bell brought back the Mexican pizza? And it was by popular demand. And then they said that the Mexican pizza, you know what? They got 20 times more positive response than they were expecting.
This whole show is about the two wolves inside of you. Which one do you feed? But so in Taos, they're hearing this thing, but it's explained as a bunch of different sounds. It's either like a hum, it sounds like a whirring, it sounds like an engine, it sounds like a coughing. But what's weird is how
those aren't the same.
They're not the same. Okay. But that's what's super weird about the phenomena is not everybody hears it, and when people hear it, they all hear something different.
Maybe Nana's just dying in the room next to you, and you should go help her because she's coughing herself to death.
Or just let her go.
Whatever God wants.
Pinch the nose.
You don't have to do that. God does it. God pinches her nose.
I don't know. Sometimes God loves to fucking watch you writhe and suffer. Well, it's up to man. It's up to man to bring peace.
Because the people who love God the most are elderly people specifically women in New Mexico.
Because they're about to meet him.
Yes, exactly. Better be nice, wear something nice.
I don't know. They find out it's just they get there and it's just some version of the Hellraiser demons.
Ooh,
and then you're
cool.
fucked.
No, that would be awesome.
I guess so.
I bet you they're really nice when they're not working because, when they get summoned to Earth, then they're like, oh, I got to go dismember and kill all these people. But before that, they were probably just doing Chunky Boy stuff at Chunky Boy buffets.
Yep. But again, we go back into the sound phenomenon. I was researching it, and one of the things they say, which seems to be like dumb, but also like, why did a scientist need to say this to me? But they're like, ears are weird. And they listen and they hear different things.
Yeah.
But it's actually more of a question of why do we each perceive the world in the way that we do? Do we each see things differently? Do we each taste things differently?
I'm not even going to tell you what YouTube video I watched because I don't remember. But I will tell you this. He made a great point. You're driving through a town. We all live in a different reality. Driving through a town, you're hungry. Your reality is going to be going to a town. You're going to go to the restaurant in that town, and then you're going to leave, and that's your reality. But let's say you're driving through the same town. Oh, we got car troubles. Your reality is going to be going to the gas station to go get your car fixed. That's your reality. You drove through the same town, different experiences, totally different town.
We got to cut you off, Jordan Peterson. I don't know what's
not
in
Jordan
this.
Peterson.
I don't know what
Jordan
level
Peterson
you're in.
talks about eating nothing but meat, and he's very sad, and I don't think he can get hard anymore. And I've never been a Jordan Peterson person because I think he takes everything too literally because he is borderline stupid.
He is very stupid. But again, it's weird. So maybe that's one version of it. Or is it because you hear a noise? We hear constant ambient noise. And then maybe your brain dials in on a specific ambient noise because you're having a negative reaction and that negative emotion actually bumps it up in the mix.
Interesting. Right? So maybe your body actually can't hear that sound, much like the color green, for example, is anything but the color green. Don't even get me going, my friend.
I don't want to get into color theory again.
It's not theory. That's a fact.
But, or is this shit gang stalking weaponry used by the government?
It's not gang. So you're telling me gangs? So they got 20
here. We already got here.
Tammy, Pat, you know what we're doing today?
Yeah.
We're going to surround Harry, right?
Yeah.
3 hours.
Got to.
What are we going to do?
Listen?
No. Slowly and lowly hum for 2 hours.
That actually might be nice. I might counter it.
It just sounds like they're around a bunch of Buddhist monks who have a very evil plan.
Or they're like George Harrison bringing in those those fucking Hare Krishnas to the recording sessions. Yeah.
So you think the Hare Krishnas, and again,
they're way more annoying
than Yoko. Because Yoko got a lot of flack.
No, way more. Yoko's just sitting there.
Okay.
But I'm just saying it's interesting about how it's interesting how you can look at something that's phenomena and you can unpack it in many different ways. Sure. And how, like, obviously the truth is it's out there somewhere. I don't know what it is. sidestorieslpotl@gmail.com. Have you experienced phantom hums?
What if it's just the earth, with all the fracking and cracking going on?
I think there's a connection to what is happening with something like this is a very low level version of whatever is going on with Havana syndrome, which is also whatever is going on with gang stalking.
And of course, Havana syndrome, that's when you start to buy nice hats, learn how to smoke a cigar, wear fun clothes on the beach.
It's serious, Kissel.
Is it?
No. It's garbage. We don't know what the hell it is, but it's this. It's weird how I feel like there's a convergence here of maybe there are people that are just also hypersensitive to microwave behavior.
Could be,
and they end up feeling these gang stalking symptoms, or is there covert tests of shit like the Frey effect? These things that come out there that they can beam words and thoughts, or they think they can make you.
That's what Jim Carrey did in the Batman movie when he played the Riddler.
Yes, yeah. But he's like, I don't. So I don't know. Maybe there's
knows?
Rise from your grave.
A roast as dark as the night, perfect for fueling the cryptid research and mad ravings required for your podcasting. Don't mind the red eyes. He's just trying to warn you of the bridge.
The bridge.
Finally, from the caffeine-addled brains of Spring Heel Jack Coffee and Last Podcast on the Left, we bring you Mothman's Red Eye Blend. Yes, delicious Panama beans. Go to lastpodcastmerch.com to order yours today.
All right. Well, speaking of something, food is something, and so are pants. Now, Queens, New York. We love Queens because, of course, it represents the royal family of America.
I fuck them. Fuck Queens,
Queens
in general.
Is fine.
I love
you
Queens.
You lived in Queens for a while.
I'm from Queens. I'm just saying, fuck Queens, the role.
The role.
The role in society, the noun. Fuck Queens.
So this is an interesting story where a customer went into a Queens restaurant. Now, my favorite part about this story is the name of said restaurant. And this is why Queens is so unique. Because every time you're a small town child, you don't realize that there are more restaurants than Apple Squeeze, than Dave & Buster's.
Sure.
This restaurant is named 4 choices and a soup.
That's how you. It's exactly
4
what
choices
you get.
And a soup.
Well, it's in
Roosevelt
Flushing.
Avenue in Flushing.
It's in Flushing, so and it might have been. I believe it is an Asian restaurant, and that's where the most delicious Asian food in America is.
I know.
It's in Flushing, Queens, and it's absolutely delectable.
And you're not even being sarcastic.
No, you need to get
so
there.
good.
It's kind of a pain if you're not up there already. Like I'm saying up there because I just from the Brooklyn perspective.
You don't need to travel for it, but if you happen to be there.
No, it is worth it to travel, but it's about an hour within the city. You know, Rob. Rob's out here. Rob Oakey's in town.
That's like coming to America. I don't know if that's the best advice to be like, I'm here for the Chinese food. They'll be like, okay.
No. They want you there. They're very excited to get new people. But again, only eat where there's no white people because that's how you know the food is good.
Be very careful when you do go to the restaurant because the one in Queens was vandalized this past Saturday. Now, a regular customer walked in there, and this is the great thing about New York. You never know. Even if they're a regular customer, you never know what day it is. And you never know what day it is when they snap.
Oh, sure.
So this guy, he rolled up, but the one problem is, he won't wear any pants. You gotta wear the pants.
Well, they said that it's not even just the not wearing pants, it's the no underwear.
Well, he
got
works.
in there. He walked in, and apparently he was a regular there. And according to them, this is also, again, it's very, very New York. Because it's just right up there. One of the owners, Jenny Z, which he said, which is, it's very New York. Everybody knows that he has a mental problem. So most of the time, we serve him right away. We don't wait too long to get him his food.
No, you don't want to.
Which is honestly incredible, and what a great tactic.
Absolutely.
If you start to present yourself as an unpredictable person, you might start getting incredible service.
It might be. I don't know if you'll be getting such great service at this point, because once he came in with his cock and balls exposed, which, by the way, if you do that, you put your balls and your cock on the table, you say, can you cook these? You have a little fun with it before obviously being escorted out, most likely by the police. So they said, I'm sorry, sir. Your cock and balls are way too out. And then they had to kick him out of, again, 4 choices and a soup.
You got to leave. Because by then, and he'd only made it through 3 choices.
Exactly. And then he came back at 4:40 p.m., broad daylight. He happened to have a hammer.
Oh, yeah.
And then he smashed every single window and glass surrounding the food.
Honestly did what looks like one of the funnest things in the world.
If you went to one of those, they have those big-ass warehouses, right, where you're like, you can go hit grandma for free. I don't even know what you do.
Just the idea of smashing all of these different windows with hammers is such a fun idea. I want to do it so bad. But I want to do it on my terms.
There was a bar in the old college town I used to go to. We knew the owner. We'd give him $75. We go smash all of his plastic furniture, and then you just go replace it at Walmart. It's very cheap.
It's just all these shards of plastic everywhere. All the birds are trying to use them for nests and cutting their beaks and shit.
Oh, no, we cleaned up.
But again, they were so nice. This is which also, it's incredible. The spirit of that city. We think when he takes his medicine, he is very normal. He comes in and says hello to us, she said. We don't want him to go to jail if he has mental problems, because sometimes, quote unquote, mental patients, she might have said like ding dongs or crazy pants. They can't control themselves, which it is a very, that's very elevated thinking, knowing that this is not the normal person that normally comes in.
Oh, I see what you were
wears
saying.
His pants.
The article corrected her saying, so she said mental patients, but she probably said something a little bit different than that. But now the interesting thing is we have to remember, we got to protect our Asian community, especially as Henry just said, the Chinese delivery man, because they are the front lines of the war on hunger.
Oh, yeah. And they're out there. Our pizza delivery people, our Chinese food delivery, anybody out there, the true warriors of this country work for DoorDash.
Apparently in Queens, the Chinese delivery man got into a massive fight over an argument about duck sauce. If your duck sauce is not there, well then, okay, you just don't get duck sauce that night.
You just don't get duck sauce.
And then they beat him up, and there's been an uptick in hate crimes. So we got to be loving out there.
Is duck sauce a big thing outside of New York City?
Oh, yeah.
Do people eat? Because we love duck sauce. Duck sauce was a thing that we used quite a bit in the Zabrowski household, because my mom used to just slather it in pork. She had this one meal that she's it was like country ribs, and she's cover it in duck sauce, and she put sauerkraut on it.
So see, she did cook you love.
Oh yeah, of course. I was fucking 300 pounds when I'm 14 years old.
Oh,
I was a chunk. I had a preposterous girth. And all the kids used to come, and they used to hand me umbrellas and be like, dance, bad dance. And I'd be like, hey guys, I'm just bigger than the other boys. I had full Polish tits.
Absolutely fantastic. You were like the giving tree. Kids would hide underneath you when it rained, and slowly it'd chop you down.
I was looking at my body last night. I was looking in the mirror, just kind of checking it and just really understanding. Because like sometimes I look at my own breasts and I lift them up and I say like, oh, that can be kind of nice. But then I realize like, oh, I'm just giving myself like full like gorgeous boobs.
Yeah, because you can. A push-up bra is very fantastic.
And it
pushes up your confidence.
But if I do it for myself, like I feel like, am I going to get all horny for myself? And then I think about, do people do that all the time?
No.
Do people look in the mirror and get horny for themselves?
No, they don't. That's why. No, most people have massive eating disorders and a whole series of mental problems. Like
but then
all
I
of
also
us
understand that if I just shave my whole body, I was looking at being like, man, I have some nice gazongas. I have Linda's body. I realize that.
That's your mother's body.
Yeah. And
so you actually just said one of the most disgusting things of all time. You were talking about how you wanted to have sex with your own body, and then you said it's because it looks like your mother.
I'm just saying, I was unpacking it.
4 choices and a soup. If you are near the Queens area, go to 4 choices and a soup.
Go help them, because they just recently lost all their windows.
Absolutely. And again, we need to support our small businesses.
What's the most important note?
What?
One of those choices you should make should be a pair of pants.
Absolutely. That's the number one choice.
It should be 5 choices in a soup, and the first choice is put on pants, arrive at store.
But what you've just said previously about your own body is one of those cliches where I remember people growing up would be like, if I had Pamela Anderson's tits, I would play with them all day. It's like, no, you wouldn't.
Why not?
It would hurt your back. It's just massively uncomfortable.
I don't know.
And
then
they're on you. No, because you can't see them.
Look at what I'm doing right now.
You're not actively getting aroused. I don't know.
You don't know. Because sometimes it starts with the butthole. Because I've noticed that my butthole gets hard first.
Isn't that something fascinating?
You trying to dig for a story? You trying to find a story? Because guess what? I'm not teeing up a story. It's up for you. Now you got to tee up a story.
Well, I often tee up many, many stories here that don't involve...
How about these tees up?
No,
Take a look at these right here. Is this distracting you? You can't see. The Patreon listeners can. This is what you get for your $5. You can see my loose boobies flop around. Like I'm Lena Dunham full of protein.
Fantastic.
That's the thing, man. Look at me, man. I got big arms.
You have just compared yourself
Rebel Wilson arms.
To fascinating women.
I got the Lena Dunham body.
That's a great compliment.
And I got L. Ron Hubbard legs.
There you go. Right for a podcaster. A research doctor. He's accused of hiring a hitman to take out a rival.
It's never a hitman.
Oil deal gone wrong.
It's never a fucking hitman. This is big oil.
He called himself, quote, His Royal Highness, on bounced checks. So federal prosecutors have revealed a possible motive behind what they described as a coast-to-coast murder-for-hire scheme that ended in the death of a northeastern Vermont man in January of 2018. It was an alleged oil deal gone bad. And again, unless you're Exxon or a series of other large pollutant corrupt companies, nobody has oil.
How does the oil deal go bad, and what was the oil deal?
Gregory Davis, he's 49. He was the victim. He was taken from his home in front of his wife and children. It was one winter evening. Prosecutors believe there was a phony law enforcement officer who was the murderer. He dumped Davis's body in a snowbank near St. Johnsbury, Vermont.
Oh, now, so he did find a hitman. Congrats.
What I feel
like you should be allowed one hitman murder if it actually all goes all the way through. If it gets all the way through.
I guess so. I'm going to say he didn't do a good job because much like the trash in New York City, as soon as there's a snow pile, people just say, I'm going to throw all my trash on it.
Yes.
And they think it's going to biodegrade. This man literally just hid a murdered body in something that is going to melt, which is going to obviously reveal said body. Jerry Banks, he's 34, of Fort Garland, Colorado, was arrested. He isn't charged directly with the murder, but federal prosecutors believe that he is indeed the one who hired the gunman. So you're right. At the very least, he did find someone who committed a stupid crime for him.
Probably paid real money for it, too.
Yes, and the Banks called, so the dude that did it was Aaron Lee Etheridge. They always put the middle name when you're a murderer, so don't forget that.
Yes, they do.
He was 41, of Henderson, Nevada. So we got Colorado, we got Nevada, and I believe Vermont. So this is like way crazy. And he said that the call was to inform Etheridge that David had successfully kidnapped and murdered. Etheridge was accused last month of conspiring to help kidnap Davis. And the man who did the murder, looks like a hitman.
I mean, again, he wore the costume. I like to believe that if you are actually a hitman, like the key would be to look nondescript, right? Like you really kind of want to look like a nobody, but it's weird because everybody turns out to end up being a hitman. They always got a lot of jewelry on. They got the fucking 5 o'clock shadow going. They look like a lot of Serbian guys. That's what I see because I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know why, that to me that's the epitome of a hitman. Serbian
Hollywood,
dude,
kind of
shaved head.
Classic Hollywood racism, maybe. But
I mean, I don't know, but I also feel like they're more dangerous. SideStoriesLPOTL@gmail.com. Are the Serbians dangerous?
Well, I think that they would take great pride in saying yes to that.
Do you think that's true?
Absolutely.
Or are they going to be like, everybody always thinks all I do is kill and torture, and then I go in and I take the American tourists and I cut off their vaginas and stuff like that. But honestly, I just want to make the pizza.
They can do both.
I mean, I guess I feel like why does every Serbian hitman have to also have some side innocent hobby?
So this is an old school FBI situation. The case had gone cold, but there was a bunch of covert agents. They tracked down the necessary leads, and they were able to connect all of the dots. So anyway, this guy, what a horrible way to die over what I can only imagine is not real. What the oil deal?
I don't know. It was all fake. It was a big scam. It was all behind his what's this group? It was Enochian Biosciences. It was which was a front. He basically said that he was going to do this will be an interesting movie someday because this guy was involved in something like it's like between oil deals and his Elizabeth Holmes style fake like miracle cure system that he was touting. It's interesting. This guy is he's in a lot of trouble.
He seems like he is. And of course, I think it's reminiscent of that movie starring The Rock and that other muscly man when they kind of made it a comedy, even though in reality they did kidnap that man and torture him to death.
But it was funny. I do love that movie. It was Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain.
Love that movie.
I never watched it. I thought it was a little rude to the family.
Whoa, hey.
Because I don't think it should have been a comedy.
Well, we've had a lot of horrible news these days. Obviously, we've had
it's been horrible.
These mass shootings have been terrible, but finally some good news. It's been so long, been waiting. Maybe there's some kind of solution to this. Maybe there's been the idea of tossing out an assault gun ban. You know what I mean? Maybe that could be good. Or,
maybe an age limit.
Maybe age limit.
Maybe 18 isn't the right age.
Maybe all this touting of these the NRA saying that it's a mental health issue. Maybe there's somebody put a bunch of money into like mental health programs and do these reach out and stuff.
NRA, a money funneling organization full of grifters,
absolutely,
and liars.
But no, don't worry. We finally have the solution. Taser has come forward and says, "Don't worry, we're going to stop school shootings by using taser-armed drones that will hover inside of our classrooms."
And I would like to point out,
and they'll be there forever. Always talk about the hum.
That's the hum.
The kids will really get used to it.
I
right?
think that you are slowly doing a Henry Zebrowski backtrack because this is the future that you've always wanted. I'm not going to let you get away with this. This is what I've been warning everybody about. They've been laughing at me for multiple years. Sure.
I wanted to use this against entertainers.
Because, they only use weapons for the right reasons. So anyway, this is just going to make having fun, getting an education, and then be like, okay, make sure you don't step out of line or you're going to get your hair cut by one of these laser tasers.
Can you imagine
floating above your school?
It's going to be so much easier to get those homework assignments in because you're literally going to sit and be like, all right, guys, we're all going to be writing this story about why Martin Luther King Jr. was not an alien.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to really...
You're a fantastic history teacher.
But if you don't, Sparky's going to get you.
Whoa, don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me, bro.
Man, it'd be kind of fun because all these teachers walking around, they're all upset because I get we're not paying them enough. And that's another thing that we could maybe fix. But no, fuck that. We're not going to fix that. What if instead of that, giving them payment, now you have your own drone as a pet?
That is just absolutely fantastic. We do pay police officers enough. And as we talked about on Abling and Stomp At, perhaps they need to overturn the federal law that says police officers don't have to engage if they see an act of crime happening in front of their eyes. I know. Isn't that strange?
They could get hurt.
So according to Barry Friedman, a New York University law professor who I know for a fact has a great mustache, he says this particular idea is crackpot, which I actually don't know why crackpot is such a bad term, but it's crackpot. And I kind of like the old school terminology. No. He says it's a dangerous and fantastical idea. And I just wonder how these kids going to learn.
I don't know, but it doesn't. I think crackpot is not the word. I would say it's insidious and dangerous.
And and it's going to create a lot of wealth for a lot of horrible, horrible people.
But again, the taser development company Axon, they're just throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks.
Seeing what sticks.
Because they're just sitting there like, hey, don't blame the messenger. Like, what do you want me? Not sell these tasers? I got all these drones.
We have all these drones with tasers on them.
I gotta do something with them. Because guess what? My kids are sick of playing with them because they killed their friend Bobby.
Oh, yeah, that'll happen.
Hey,
also, on a drone front, the U.S. Navy has shot down a drone for the first time using an all-electronic laser for the first time.
Yeah,
so
man. At least it's sustainable.
Yes, of course, it was designed by Lockheed Martin. So, again,
we're in a very interesting time period
money.
because I know, again, like it's not good. I like to cover these types of stories about what the military is working on, just so y'all know that, like, when, like, not to be anything, that if you think that your shotgun or like your little assault rifle is going to do anything against the U.S.
You can shoot a drone down
government,
with a shotgun.
that you can do.
I saw the movie Bees.
But what about the electric laser coming from a satellite?
You have to get a Captain American-like shield.
Oh.
And then you deflect it.
Oh.
I have a feeling it'll be on police cars in the next 5 years. So, anyway, that's
a lot. No,
continued waning freedom.
But that's what, you know what I'm learning?
Yes.
You know what I'm learning? Dun, 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 dun,
Song and dance.
dun, dun, dun. Look at me. Look, can we put some tap shoe noises in it? Dun, 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 dun.
Don't kill him.
Not me, sir. I'm just an entertainer.
Just an entertainer. I do love it. All right. And also, just lastly, a biohacker named MacLeod Disco. Okay, biohacker. This is his name. MacLeod Disco Gamma Meow Meow.
I'm glad.
He implanted an opal card into his hand. He has managed to escape conviction, I believe, because of the card.
Well, they fuck with him. They gave him a ticket for saying that he didn't have a valid ticket and he did not produce a ticket to transport officers. And this was in Australia, which I believe the opal card is what allows him to go on their mass transit. And he had put the opal card chip in his hands, and then they arrested him.
Here.
They did all this fucking shit. They pulled him off because he was doing a little bit of a stunt, but also, again, he's like, I had my card. I got on the bus. And then what they did, he got it all overturned, which is showing that biohacking
makes your life more difficult.
It can.
Because he could have just shown, if he just had the card, he wouldn't have been arrested, and then he could have gone to his job or to his girlfriend's house or to a bar.
Science movement.
I can't believe that a man named MacLeod Disco Gamma Meow Meow was in it for the attention.
He's a what's its butts? He's a activist.
Indeed, in many ways.
Yes.
Live from your grave.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? Ben Kissel here with Henry Zabrowski. Yeah, it's me, man. Yeah, bro. Henry Zabrowski is smoking some of that sweet last podcast on the left, babe. So go out there and purchase yourself some. I hope you enjoy it. We have sativa, we have indica, and we have a hybrid. And I have to tell you, from my personal experience, they are wonderful.
Super tasty live resin. You really get that delicious weedy taste, which is what I like. And 3 different experiences. You go to your local vape store and get it.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. We absolutely love you. Can't wait to see you on the road and get that vape, put it in your brain, and have a good time.
And if you want us at your favorite weed store, give them a call and ask for them by name.
Absolutely.
Last podcast on the left, it's weed.
Hail yourselves, everyone.
Hail Satan.
All right, everyone. Well, speaking of activists, let's do Hero of the Week. And as usual, I have 2. The first one is a rat. Now, this is actually true. This rat is trained to carry tiny backpacks into earthquake zones, perhaps where the is coming from, so rescue teams can talk to survivors and hopefully help them, or they just talk to them and tell them that they're doomed. So rats are being trained and sent into earthquake debris with tiny backpacks. And if you look at these rats, they're freaking huge.
They are long.
Dr. Donna Keene from Glasgow did the research. She's 33 years old, which is why we need more ladies in the sciences, because it seems like the men mostly just create lasers to kill people. And so far, 7 rats have been trained, and it's only taken them 2 weeks to get up to speed. At the moment, the homemade prototype backpacks contain a small microchip, and it's being used as scientists are now sending them into the debris, and then they're tracking where are people. And it's been very helpful, specifically in Morogoro, Tanzania. Now, they've been doing Morogoro, Tanzania. And the rodents will get a chance to work in the fields when they go to Turkey. And I don't know if the robots realize that they're going into, legitimate hell, but there is a cute picture of a rodent doing what I did at Dave & Buster's, sucking some fun stuff through what looks to be a fun little needle. So anyway, rats, congratulations. You're very scary beings, and you invaded my home one time in New York City, and it ended just a series of good nights and good times, and you ate all my clothes. And the power of a rat
Yeah.
Fat. They can be very, very fat, and they can just fit through the size of a quarter.
You got thin bones.
Thin bones.
But yeah, honestly, and that's why, and that's why that rat is a hero, is because it's using what is creepy about it for good.
So Donna said, rats would be able to get into small spaces to get the victims buried in rubble, to get to the victims.
That's incredible.
Buried in rubble. Now, again, I don't know if they're going to be able to rescue them at this point. I also don't know if I'm in rubble, like if I want to be like, rat. That's like, oh no, everything's worse.
My worst nightmare.
And then rat's just like, but you don't see the subtitle. It's like, I'm here to help. You don't see it.
No, because it's going.
And then they say, we have not been in a real situation yet, but they do have mock debris sites. So anyway,
that's got to be fun setting up a mock debris site, though. Again,
trash it. And another hero of the week is just this little piggy. Now, these pigs are just unbelievable what they've been doing. Hamilton.
Just not a lot of people heroes these days.
No, they're really, honestly.
It's just not.
Tell me,
I don't
have
know.
one?
No.
Anyone?
Me? I made my own dinner 3 times the last week, which honestly makes me a hero. I've been eating salad.
Okay.
I'm getting back on track diet-wise.
Well, and to all those people who are getting back on track and taking care of themselves, you're also hero of the week.
Wow.
Hero Pig credited with saving veteran owner from a New Jersey apartment fire. Now, this pig is 500 pounds. Now, the pig closed a door while he was escaping the fire, which prevented the blaze from spreading. And before you say, oh, you just did it on accident, well, what if he didn't? Because all we know is that this 500-pound pig named Hamilton helped his 30-year-old neighbor, or 30-year-old parent, Gilbert Anaya, escape the New Jersey apartment. Now, I don't know if a 500-pound pig lives in the apartment. That's a lot of space for a piggy to be taken up in an apartment. But the pig closed a door in the garage as the fire intensified, slowing the blaze's spread. And one thing we know about pigs, they understand what it's like to be cooked and crackled. And he said, not today, pig god.
They don't, though. You know what I mean?
They're smart.
They don't have a consciousness that makes them understand that they are also our food.
They do.
They don't, though.
They do.
They don't.
Actually, if you do, there's studies that show pigs know the day they're about to be killed. So do cows, but again, cows don't exist without us.
We've dumbed down cows.
But no, pigs are very aware that we eat them constantly.
I don't know.
They are.
That's how we're going to get
side
stories, LP.
I'm telling you.
All these PETA people are going to start showing up.
No, not the PETA people. That's another grifter scam. I am talking about people who really love animals.
I get it. But guess what? In this innocence you talk of, like last week, right?
Yeah.
All these so-called animal heroes of yours.
Absolutely.
Last week we had a ram convicted of murder, right?
He wasn't. He spent 2 years.
You fought me.
3 years.
And then I had several listeners who emailed and say rams feel nothing. That's what they do. Rams ram. That's what they do. They don't feel anything. Doesn't feel guilt.
They don't feel. No. All animals feel guilt.
No, they don't. They create approximations of guilt to get a response from humans.
I wish you had the same thoughts on AI.
You know what? I wish I did too.
This is according to a U.S. veteran, Navy veteran, who was, again, the owner. He says the fire department said him closing the door bought me 15 to 20 minutes. If he didn't choose to close the door, the fire and the smoke would have spread faster.
They all would have been dead, and both would have become bacon.
But you know what's so funny? News 12 Bronx reported that Hamilton is trained to close doors.
Wow. He is a hero. He is a hero.
He did it on purpose.
Now I'm going to tell a story about when a pig wasn't a hero. And we're going to go back in time a little bit. But I'm going to talk about the story about how a pig was once sentenced to death for murder as well in
you can't
1300s.
sentence a pig to death.
No, yeah, you can. Absolutely. Now they're saying that a young pig was arrested this is in the 14th century, was arrested for attacking a child's face, which eventually died because of the attack. Right? But the pig was arrested and then taken to prison and then put on trial, where it was put up in a thing where they literally did a piggy trial. And this is an excerpt this is a January 9th, 1386.
Can you believe that was a date, huh?
Oh, yes. And this is from the execution of Felon, France. Mm-hmm. Right? So because he was sentenced to death.
Oh, no.
For his efforts and salary. Now, this was the receipt from the executioner.
Okay.
For his efforts and salary for having dragged and then hanged at the place of justice and Falais a sow of approximately 3 years of age who had eaten the face of the child of Jonelle Macon, who was in his crib and who was approximately 3 months old, in such a way that the said infant died from the injuries, and an additional 10 estournois for a new glove when the hangman performed the said execution. This receipt is given to Reginald Rigaud, Vicomte de Villon. And then they said that he will go and do this. And then what he was supposed to do.
How'd they kill the pig?
They cut up his front legs. He was supposed to be tortured and murdered in the public square where they put him there. Like, he was supposed to be, his front legs were supposed to be cut up in a cage. And then he was to be put into a man's suit and then hung from the town square. So that's what they did. They put him in a suit. And they hung him in the town square, and they said that he defecated on the spot.
Well, I do believe that would be true. Man, I wish we could kind of bring that back and not have it be pigs. That's a really interesting.
You just want to do public hangings again?
No, I could just see some political figures that belong where that pig was sent. But anyway, what kind of way would you eat a child's face where they didn't die? Just a nibble on the cheek?
Nibble. You want to do it in just the ears only. So then they don't have to hear, the bad news.
Or all they do is hear the bad news. If you don't have I just saw.
all you get is bad news.
Yeah, by the way, they're doing very good with the ear transplants.
I've seen the ones with the magnet.
Yeah,
the little magnet, and they pop it on. It's fucking sweet.
Kind of cool.
Let me do this one little story.
Okay.
Listener emails. This is a story I've searched for an explanation for years, but I have been unable to explain away. In 2017, my sister were driving us back from a Cupcake concert. Singer of such songs as Vagina, Deep Throat, and Spider-Man Dick.
Cupcake was the original name for Marcus Parks on the Round Table of Gentlemen because he had a horrible job where the man was a criminal, but he couldn't say his name.
No, but this has 2 Ks in it.
Okay.
Not 3, because that would be bad.
That's very bad.
It was around 3 a.m. when we were leaving the main road to an area that we always called the Canyon, which is a back road that swerves through some hills in Southern California. The canyon has almost no street lamps, so only the headlights from your car illuminate the road in front of you. We were both sitting silently when up ahead a figure came into view. This figure had to be well over 6 feet tall, and the motion it was making was as if it was getting up from sitting on its butt, but without using its hands to help it. Almost like coming from a back bend or something, but from sitting. As the headlights shined directly on it, I realized that this being had no face and no distinguishable clothing or characteristics whatsoever. And even though it was definitely facing us based on the way it had gotten up, it almost looked like someone wearing a black, staticky ghillie suit. It was around 3 a.m. in the canyon with no sidewalks, and he was at the bottom of the hill right next to the road. My sister and I both sat bolt upright and yelled at each other to make sure we had seen the same thing. After contemplating for the next 20 minutes, I called the police thinking it was some kind of person. Maybe they needed help because they were wandering in the middle of the canyon. I'm not sure if they ever went and checked it out. I'm fairly certain that whatever we saw was not human based on its sheer size.
Oh my
And it's just
goodness.
this weird area. They said there's a lot of hinky stuff happening over there. There's rumors of chanting and cults and Satan worshipers, which is, who knows?
Who knows?
We know that through the hills of Southern California, there's been many different cults.
Yeah.
And groups doing cult-like activity. So
Some easily convinced people. The sun, much like Florida, rots the brain. Every now and again, a little cloud coverage. I think it does help us, doesn't it?
It does. But I want to let our audience know before I get into the Triple L's, we have a live show coming up in Nashville at the Ryman Auditorium. We can't wait. All of LPN is going to be there. We got Marcus is fucking ready to go.
He's doing strongly bull.
We're going to be doing this shit.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure you know we have a live stream as well. If you cannot come to Nashville, come and see us on a live stream. You can watch the whole thing
sit
live.
there in your undies if you want.
Absolutely. And it's at momenthouse.com/LPOTL. You buy those tickets, come on, what?
And
Wow, just from Europa.
Absolutely. Lower expectations.
Yes.
Always have that. Again, it's us. It'll be good. Not great.
Not great. The idea is shooting for 65.
65 is fantastic.
C minus.
My mom used to say C's get degrees.
Yep.
And she was almost right. C pluses get degrees.
Oh, yeah. So
2.5.
Make sure you live every day. If you're a pig, maybe you live every day like a little piggy.
Like a little piggy, you can be a hero or you can be a murderer. Make the right choice,
Make
piggy.
the right choice. Again, it's about the wolf that you feed inside, little piggy, all right? Because if you're a little piggy that loves mayhem, right, maybe you will be out there chewing the face off of little children, maybe just because you can, because maybe no one will ever blame the little piggy.
No,
but guess what they do? And then sometimes they fucking hang you, all right? Or you could be like the little piggy that loves to close the door for your father who served time in the war.
Absolutely, the Navy.
And you can go in there and you help your father and I'm a good piggy today.
Good piggy today.
But guess what that means? You get more oats.
Absolutely.
Think about that. And then no matter what, if you're a little piggy, laugh knowing that no matter what, you get a chance to get off this spinning fucking rock. Not like the rest of us, trapped endlessly in the wheels.
We all die.
No, but trapped on the karmic wheels. And we never know what we're coming back as.
Ooh, I would love if there was the island of the pig, much like that fantastic film starring Bruce Willis, Chris Tucker, Mila Jovovich.
Fifth Element.
Yes. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for listening. We hope you're doing well out there.
We squeaked it out, didn't we, Kissel?
We squeaked another one out. Hope we made you laugh just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit. If we can spread a little laughter out there, then we've done our job. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for listening. Hang in there. Hail yourselves. Congratulations. See you in Nashville.
Can't wait, man.
I cannot wait.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.